At this time, I'll call the Board of Trustees, regular business meeting to order, January 9th at 12 p.m. And I would ask Mr. Fleshman if he would open us in prayer.
Yeah, sure. Let's all remember the people in California that have lost such, I can't even put it to words what they've lost. Their way of life and everything they know in one sweep of a fire. So let's keep them in mind. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to come and service the township as elected officials, and that we do the work honestly, and Lord, that you are amongst us in the decisions that we have to make. We thank you this day, and amen.
Hold on, sirs, can I add something, please? I'd like to do a moment of silence for our 39th president who's being laid to rest today.
Absolutely.
So could we bow our heads for a moment? Thank you.
Mr. Arnold, will you please lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman?
Yes.
Yes. All right, this time we will open the floor for discussions and approval for chairman and vice chair for the year of 2025. Any discussions?
Yes, I'd like to have a discussion about, so my goal would be to open up about discussions, is I would like to see whoever becomes the chairman to try to conduct the meetings in a different manner, a more productive manner, quicker, not pointing out anything, like direct and to the point, so we can get through these business meetings and get things done correct, right. I don't have a problem with the way it's been done in the past necessarily, but I think it can be done more efficiently.
I would agree. We need to stick closer to the Robert E. Board. With that, any other discussion? I would open the floor for nominations for chair. Hearing none, I would ask. I'd like to make a nomination of John Fleshman for chair of the Franklin Township Board of Trustees, and I would ask for a second.
I'll second.
All right. Can we have a roll call?
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman?
Yes.
And Mr. Leeser?
Yes. I would open up the floor for vice chair nominations.
I'll nominate James Leeser.
Would you not like to do it, sir?
I don't wanna do it.
Okay.
Any seconds?
I'll second.
Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman?
Yes.
And Mr. Leeser?
Thank you, sir. As I'm changing chairs, I would, it was an honor to serve as chairman of the 2024 board. Look forward to 2025, serving with these gentlemen and serving you as taxpayers. I will slide over, sir, and relinquish the gavel.
Thank you, sir. It's yours, isn't it?
Yep.
I don't think
You'd gladly, huh? All right. Meeting's yours, sir.
Yeah. Well, thank you, gentlemen. Obviously, it's an honor to be able to serve as the chairman. There's a lot of responsibility that's in it, and as Mike said, that trying to make sure that we do what is supposed to be done and correctly, and give everyone an opportunity and fairly. So with that, I'm probably gonna be a little rusty at first. It's been a while since I've
I'll
done
help you,
this.
sir.
Our next is the old business, And under old business, I don't have anything, sir. Is there anything that you've got?
I don't believe there's anything that we had pending
Okay,
that we have not already put to bed.
okay. And, did we change where the speakers,
No,
where are we doing the speakers at?
right after old business. That's not even.
Public
on this
comment, I
one.
got you,
Yeah.
right here, okay, I see it. Okay, so new
No, I'm
business,
sorry, new business, right after new
yeah,
business.
I was looking for it in the wrong spot. Patty Spencer, you're up.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Would you like this?
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Ah, it's been a year. We've got a few new people here, and because they don't know who I am, really, I will explain who I am first of the year, maybe, again, maybe in 6 months. I am the zoning chair for the Southwest Area Commission, and our area is from the south, 270, to the west, the railroad tracks, to the east, the Sayona River, and to the north, the middle of Mound Street. So I come here to share city news with the township that benefits everybody. I think that was it. Anyway,
And your meetings are held here?
oh, well, I'll get to that
Okay.
at the end because our meeting is coming up. So under health and safety, the city, which is a long time coming, is sponsoring an ordinance that would reduce drowning risks from retention ponds. I know there are so many retention ponds around apartment complexes. It's been the responsibility of the apartment complexes to put fencing up. They don't. So apparently now there's going to be an ordinance, requiring property owners to implement the safety measures, and warning signs for this, which I think is awesome. We also have what they call a point-in-time count. The Community Shelter Board is seeking volunteers for their 2025 point-in-time count of people experiencing homelessness. So what they're asking for is people to, go out into the homeless communities, and, keeping track and, of who's out there. Maybe getting a head count and see what is needed for the communities. Under transportation, since we all go up and down the streets, there is a number of ordinances that is going to be passed, lowering the speed limits on 6 city streets. One is Alton and Darby Creek Road from Federal Road to Renner Road. Federal Road from Alton to Rome Hilliard Road. North Hague Avenue from Harrison Road to Trayview Road. North High from Goodale to King. Lockbourne from Commerce Street to London Grove Port Road. And Sunbury Road to Holt Road to Innes Road. So, but the one that it will affect you would be the North Hague, from Harrison to Trayview. That's within your
Mhm.
area. That will be reduced from 45 to 40. Unless you're a police officer chasing somebody or the fire department.
When will that take place?
It's a sponsored ordinance, right now, so there's no, it's gotta go through the committees. Upcoming city events, we have the 2025 Martin Luther King commemorative march and program, and it will be, February 20th, and I have flyer information if anyone is interested in, being a part of that. Under Building Safer Communities, on Tuesday, February 25th, from 6 to 8 in the evening, State Representative Humphrey, in collaboration with Columbus Police Chief and the Whitehall Police Chief, they will host a public safety discussion at the Barrett Community Center. So if anyone is interested in going to that, I've got a link to the website that you can do that. The last thing I have is next Tuesday, the Southwest Area Commission meets, the first meeting of the year at 6:30 here. We have a couple of things. We have a return of an applicant that lives off of Gantz Road, regarding a safety compliance issue. And then we have a new applicant off of Dyer Road who is asking a variance for a new garage. So it'll be probably a very quick and simple meeting.
Sure.
And that is all I have.
So at this time, I'll open the floor for any quick questions that you might have.
I was told yesterday that in order to change the speed limit, it has to go through the state, through ODOT, not
It's
that.
an ordinance being proposed.
Still has to go through the state.
That's up to city council. That's who it's coming from.
I'm just telling you because we asked that question last night at the meeting, and they told us that it had to go through the state to change the speed limit on Hague Avenue.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, at this time, closing the floor, and thank you, Patty, I appreciate that.
You're welcome, and I will leave this here for anybody that has any
Okay,
information.
thank you. So if
Okay.
anyone after the meeting, if there's any information that's up here that you would be able to obtain. We don't have anybody from the Sheriff's Department, so at this point in time, I'm going to present to the Boy Scouts if they, I'm sorry?
Certificate, I was gonna let you out so you could
Okay,
go.
oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
So,
I thought you said you were going.
yeah, I was just reading what we had. If we can have the Boy Scouts come up. Let me have you guys come right up here if we can.
All of you.
Parents too?
Yes, please.
Somebody have Nicole's, cameras up there, anybody,
So,
or somebody can snap
You
a
can come right
picture.
in here. So what we would like to do.
Oh, you got it, Nicole, I'm sorry, she has it.
Is, the Boy Scouts helped out, if you've seen the tree that we had put up, they came out in the cold to decorate. We're very proud that they did. We happened to give a call to them, and they said, yes, they would come out, and they made our tree look so beautiful. And that kicked off our first annual parade that we've ever had in the township, so hopefully, maybe, next year, if the Boy Scouts would like to take on every year of decorating our tree, and then from there, we end up taking the parade that goes through, throughout. And, I think that there's a way that we could have you guys maybe ride along or something with the parade, that we can figure something out with the fire department if there's room or something of that nature. So at this time, I'd like to present to you our token of gratification awarding on this day. So to you, I'd like to thank you, sir. I'll shake your hand, and we will present you with this. And you guys, do you want to come up for a picture?
I'm glad that I didn't have to freeze to just answer.
Because
Beside you,
yeah,
sir.
we were going to do it, but we thought it would be great if someone would have an opportunity in the community.
Can't see you, Mike.
I'm in, that's good. Can't miss me. Thank
Okay,
you.
and thanks again, that's really great that you were able to do that, we're really proud of
Is it
you.
okay if I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
I am the Pack and Troop Chartered Org, so I manage both the Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts over at Purple Door Church, and we are chartered through the AMVETS 1928 on Broad Street. And my whole goal is to improve recruiting for both the Boy Scouts and the Cub Scouts, as well as community involvement, and that's been a big part in why I enjoy what I do. We've done the opening for Oktoberfest at the fairgrounds. And the more that we can get into the community, the better. So if you can, I believe they might have your contact or through, please reach out to us. We are more than happy to help. If I can't get the Boy Scouts to help, we'll get the Cub Scouts to help. And we just wanna be as involved as we can
Sure.
with you guys.
Sure, we have stuff like National Night Out and different things that we would love to be able to work with the community, and maybe even engagement where we're able to set up a tent or something for you guys, or et cetera. Of course, the board would have to talk about I'm one person, but just that's one of the big events that we have and things of that nature. So there's always things that we can work on together. So
Great,
thank you very
again.
much. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Oh, and something they forgot to tell you, if they stay long enough, hopefully citizenship will be.
Yeah, we're staying, so
We're
he can
staying
work
the
on
whole
it.
meeting,
This
so
is-
he can watch.
Coming to this meeting and staying through the meeting is part of a requirement for citizenship in the community.
Wow,
He
that's
has to
great.
discuss 2 topics and why he agrees with one over the other.
Okay,
So that would be a discussion we have later. So his ears are on. I hope
All right.
they're on.
okay, so, sir, this time.
Yep. Mary Needlemeyer from,
You wanna come back there, or you can come
1233
forward, or if you
Road.
wanna stand there?
You can
Can I
stay right
stand here?
there.
Okay,
I just want to give thanks to everybody for letting me be part of the Christmas parade. I did enjoy it, and looking forward, for years to come, hopefully, you guys will continue with that. That was really nice. Plus, I got to see the outline of the township, and I had a good ride with this fella here. And the other thanks goes to Chief Arnold's men last Wednesday. I had to call the squad for myself for transport, and I had 2 nice guys. So, thank you.
They're gems.
Yeah, we're glad you enjoyed yourself, Mary. Sorry to
I
hear
did.
about the phone call though, but we're glad you enjoyed yourself in the parade. Thank you.
I would like
And
to.
remember, you didn't wanna do that.
Yeah.
All right, next person is Brenda Fuller from 3350 Brookside
And
Boulevard.
before we start, I'm gonna make a comment. I'd like to thank, Mike, Blevins, or Trustee Blevins, for allowing us to work with him in the first ever. He's brought a lot of new ideas and creativity to Franklin Township, and I think that that was, something that only he could do, cause his heart was really in it, and I thank you, sir, for representing the
Yeah.
board as well as you did, and the work you put in. There's a lot of work that went into that. Anytime something's new, getting it off of the ground, it takes a lot of lifting.
As do
Well,
I.
I plan on speaking about it later, but thank you very
Sure,
much.
sure.
Yes, so we will go to Brenda.
Moving forward, Brenda, the floor is yours for 3 minutes.
Okay, well, I might need a little bit longer because I have actually 2 very important topics. And I'll start off with the quickest one first,
Okay.
which would be, our fiscal officer. I spoke with the auditor on Tuesday, and, they will have a decision by the 21st. They said 2 weeks, that'll be the 21st, that they should have,
A ruling.
a ruling on the action that they're gonna take. But the investigation is complete, that I do
Okay.
know. Okay, so, next subject, Westland Mall is gone. It's gone. And, I mean, we got bamboozled by the Rubens, because they knew they were selling it back in March last year. After that is when we got the grant, am I correct? So, do we utilize the grant to put in Kittle Property Group? A new road through there? Or,
Can I
Well, do you wanna let her finish, and then
Sure.
as
finish,
finish?
Brandon, and I'll
Yeah.
answer all your questions.
okay, so, anyway, $20 million for the demolition of the mall. And I don't know how much the grant is for the roadway. I feel like the Rubens, we should request, something back from them, because they knew what they were doing. But yet, the township did all the work to get that. Okay, and then, you know, Mr. Leeser and Mr. Fleshman both said that they were in talks with the Rubens. When I asked about it, I wanna say last July or something like that, you know? And, you know, we got a big, you know, from the Rubens to the township. Okay, so I would like to know if the township would consider trying to recoup the money from the Rubens. And also, the apartment units that they're requesting is only gonna be on 7.5 of those acres. They sold 48 acres. Apartments are going on 7.5 of those, 234. County says that you can only have 24 apartment units per acre. Well, already there are 54 apartment units over.
This time.
I will extend 1 minute, and due to the nature of this, if you can finish in 1 minute.
Okay. But, you know, what are they gonna do with the rest of it? It's dead center of where the mall sat. That includes the JCPenney building. So, Georgesville Road is a county road, am I correct? So, we need to get a hold of the county to make sure they do not annex into the city of Columbus. We also need to make sure that we do something about Kittle Property Group. D- rating, Better Business Bureau, they're the one that I've been fighting from behind my property. And I would like, you know, support from the board to do this.
So do you want to start off,
Sure.
okay, go ahead.
Absolutely. Brenda, I appreciate your concerns. In fact, I was on the phone with the county economic and development, folks yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening. You are correct. 48 acres was sold to a company called Caravel.
Well, it's actually Kittle Property Group, the name of the apartments will be the Caravel.
I understand. I cannot attest to whether that property will stay in the township. I know there's a small portion of that property, that is still owned by the Weston Group.
Two.
That they received, a tax abatement from the county to build on. So I can't confirm whether it's gonna stay in the township or the city as of all the information we have as of right now. I have talked, to the engineer, the county engineer, about the $3.5 million in grant money that the township has received. To date, we only have $1 million, and that's from the state of Ohio. I can't go into too much detail with you because we're in the infancy stage, but yes, I am working on how the township can utilize those funds that we have right now, the $1 million, maybe for other purposes. Because yes, we weren't aware that the Rubens were going to piece this property off. I had conversations with the Rubens, and again, it's business, I understand. And they had these grandiose ideas, they were to build a $166 million amphitheater. But I think the township's gonna be in the position that we'll be able to utilize that today, $1 million, for other purposes. But again, we haven't received the other $2.5 million. So, yeah, we are looking into that. I think you had another question that I don't think I answered.
Oh, Boulevard.
The township's not out any money right now. The taxpayers of the state of Ohio paid a little over $9 million for the demolition of that mall. And I do know the governor's office is looking into this because I have contacted the Department of Development. State of Ohio kind of got bamboozled too. And in the future, my understanding is these grants will not be given out unless there's a prospectus as to what you're gonna do with this money and what are you gonna put on the site tomorrow. But, that's all I can share with you right now. Knock on wood, the township's not out a dime. What I need to find out with further conversations is, being that that 48 acres goes all the way over to the east of Bob Evans, where initially that boulevard was going to be cut through. I don't know where that stands now. I have talked to the engineer, and I said, can you build a road through there for me for $3.5 million? And they said, absolutely. So if we have to utilize that $3.5 million, I can build a road through there. And it gets very, very complicated how we do that. But I don't wanna go into that until I'm
Right.
definite.
I understand that.
But we're in an involved situation, but I think, in my opinion, the township will be fine when all the dust settles.
Okay, so I talked to the people that I know within the city of Columbus. There has not been any, paperwork that has been submitted yet to annex into the city, which is good news, because actually, they're gonna have a hard time doing it unless the Franklin County Commissioners approve it.
Well, the commissioners usually approve it afterwards, and it's under annexation number 2.
Correct. But the thing is, you have to remember, not a piece of that property is touching the city of Columbus.
Contiguous.
Correct. So, Jim?
I'm just thinking, because of Georgesville bust that, right?
Well, I'm not 100% sure. I know that they usually want it contiguous to a part of it being in the city, so I'm sure the city would like to annex that, because now you have Franklin Township all around it and you can continue to mushroom out. But the way that it is right now, my understanding is, if someone wishes to annex it in, they pull the application and go through the process. We cannot have a say in it, we can't stop it, etc. And that's why it was vital that our past fire levy would have addressed that, because even if we lost properties to the city, whoever purchased it, whoever developed it, is still gonna have to pay our fire department.
But I think, I don't know if they use, because the casino is right across the street,
Correct.
and that is the city of Columbus.
That is true, but is the road county, it's
I
in
don't-
between,
I don't
is
know
that,
if they
is
use
it
that buffer.
touching?
That's what she just said.
Yeah,
Should be good.
we don't know
I don't
for
know.
sure. Is that
Well-
contiguous?
Jump across boundaries.
Because
They
Shoppers
can't jump
Lane
across
comes
no-
out,
Okay,
they're not taking all the way to Georgesville Road.
right.
They're taking, I don't know, probably 150 foot back off of Georgesville on Shoppers Lane and on Western Mall exit, which runs behind. But, you know, we're going to have a problem over there if they wanna put in 2,000 apartment units, low income. We're gonna have a high crime area, and we're gonna have a drug dealer across the street at the Boston Market to supply them. So, where's all the riffraff gonna go?
Well, thank you for bringing us to your attention. You know, you can keep in contact with Steve. We can give you the information when we can give you the information. But I do thank you for taking your time to sit and dive into this. And some of this we already knew, and I'm sorry that some of it we can't,
No,
talk
I
to the public about. But it's nice to see residents take a serious look at this as you've done.
Sean, we can't let Killer Property take over there.
You saw the fight we had before,
Yeah.
so.
Oh, and one last thing, and I promise I'm done. It's been withdrawn from behind me.
I'm sorry?
The proposal and planning and all of that, Kittle withdrew their,
Okay, from over there by
Yeah.
UDF, okay.
Yep.
Okay, who else do we have on, do we have two?
That's it.
That's it?
Yep.
Okay, so on to, the police department, Chief Smith, sir.
Sir. I'll start with the special duty rates first. I sent the board the new special duty rates from the county. Typically, the board will pass a motion authorizing you to sign it. And there is a $2 increase on the officer's salary and a $10 increase on the use of the vehicle. Is the only change there.
How does that, do we just dictate how that's set, or is there a standard? Because overtime is overtime, is that not correct?
It's not overtime, this is just their special duty rates.
What someone would pay to have a car versus,
Right,
Okay.
which we don't really have anything to do with the actual rates. The only dog in the fight the township really has is the use of the vehicle.
okay,
And that was an increase of $10 per hour per vehicle.
okay. So are you needing a resolution?
Just a motion for me to sign it and send it back to
Okay.
the county.
Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees, Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board makes a motion to the new fees associated with overtime as far as, would that be contracted overtime? I mean,
It's just
contracted
contracted
special time.
duty.
okay, special duty. If there's no further questions on it, I'd ask for a second.
I will second that.
And, sir, if I can have a roll call?
Absolutely. Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Leeser?
Yes.
And Mr. Fleishman?
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen. Next, we have our 2024 stats. They're a little bit lengthy. So during 2024, we took 14,173 runs. I also did a comparison with 2023. In 2023, we took 14,090 runs. Not a big increase, but I will go down the whole list if you like.
Sure. If you wish.
Sure. 736 alarm drops. That is 212 less than last year. 62 animal complaints, which is 15 less from last year. 141 assaults, down by 33. 217 assisting other units, which is down by 50. 1,033 accidents, which is up by 107. 18 bad checks, which is an increase of 3. 35 blocking disabled vehicles, which is down by 86. 1 bomb threat. 126 burglaries, which were down by 36. 15 DOAs, which is an increase of 4. 6 dog bites, which were down by 3. 496 domestic complaints, were actually down by 15. 5 DUIs, were down by 2. 54 intoxication calls, which could be pedestrians or vehicles, were down by 1. 10 sexual exposings, were down by 2. 236 follow-ups, were up by 9. 1,489 complaint investigations, that's an increase of 234. 136 juvenile complaints, were down by 49. 430 thefts, were up by 9. 5 livestocks in the roadway, were up by 2. 88 mental health runs, were down by 23. 47 missing persons, were down by 26. 10 missing persons returned, were down by 4. 62 motorcycle, ATV, mini bike complaints, were up by 7. 5 narcotics complaints, were down by 2. 43 neighbor complaints, were up by 3. 5 officer in troubles, were up by 4. 55 overdoses, were down by 46. 64 persons for the gun, were down by 31. 19 persons overnight, we're down by 3. 71 protection orders, we're down by 6. 44 recovered vehicles, we're down by 3. 19 robberies, we're down by 11. 16 other sex offenses, we're even up with last year. 6 shootings, that's a decrease of 22. 140 shots fired in the area, we're down by 49. 9 special details, down by 2. 11 stabbings, that's an increase of 10. 248 stolen vehicles, we're down by 10. 3 structural fires, 110 suicide attempts, we're up by 1. 2,108 suspicious persons, that's an increase of 129. 24 threat or harassment complaints, we're down by 10. 1,299 traffic offenses, that's an increase of 194. 139 vandalisms, that's an increase of 7. 61 warrants, increase of 17. 1,016 reports taken, that's an increase of 148. 953 citations issued, increase of 192. And then there's 1,840 miscellaneous calls for service.
And this is for what time period?
2024.
Okay.
Entire year.
Okay.
A lot.
So I was at a meeting last night and I was informed by a resident that the charter school in Cherokee is having a meeting, which is their school meeting, which Chippewa, is it Chippewa?
Yeah.
January 15th at 6 o'clock. I plan on attending. I'd love to have you guys attend.
Okay.
So that the school board that I don't know how the charter schools have their own school board, but my understanding yesterday, you guys wrote 3 tickets of people lining up. And then, of course, if we can continue the monitoring on that so that we can get relief on Hague Avenue would be great. That's all I have on that. Do you guys have anything?
No, I welcome seeing the officer out there yesterday.
So what we did to mitigate some of the problem is I put Officer Hill on a 90-day transfer, brought him in 2 hours early. The first 2 hours of his shift will be solely devoted to that.
Okay.
So there were 3 citations and 2 warnings issued yesterday.
Okay.
We're gonna monitor it for the backup. The last time we did it, it was about a 7-minute backup, which is much less than what has been in years past. So we're gonna try this for 90 days and see where it goes, and just kind of regroup from there.
Okay. So at this time, I'm gonna open the floor for a quick question if you have for the, whoops,
I got a few more.
oh, I thought you were done.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
50 Volney, the trailers are gone. Just a quick update on that. The homeless camp on Geneva, we met with AEP, we do have a signed document allowing us to trust people from their property. So as soon as I don't believe anybody's in the structure, I checked it again this morning. As cold as it is, I feel like there'd be a fire burning, there's no smoke. AEP will schedule a crew to come in and tear that down. I don't know if they'll do it before the weather breaks. I hope they will, because if they don't, it's simply gonna attract other folks, so I wanna get it out there as soon as we can. So it's a constant effort, so we're working on that.
So Chief, we've been working on that through the entire holiday season with AEP to get this taken care of. So the people who've been calling and everything know we have been working. We do now have the signed documents, as you just stated, from AEP. We can trespass anybody we find back there.
Yes.
And so I just want people to know it don't happen overnight. That's the whole thing.
No, it's a long process. We're gonna deal with them over on Brady because that's the closest other camp. So that's another fight we'll have.
Okay.
Let's see, we have 2 officers in the process for the sheriff's office. I know that's been a question at the last meeting. They are in the background, that's all we know at this point. so they don't have any official, anything yet. Tuesday at 10 o'clock, Mike, I just talked to Bob, which is one of the supervisors at Local Waste.
Okay,
He will be here for a meeting at 10 a.m. on Tuesday.
okay, you care if I bring the board up to date, cause I haven't
Not at
spoken to
all.
anyone.
Not at all.
So gentlemen, we're having issues with local waste. I talked to Byron a month or so ago at least. You go down Jackson, between Brown and Harrisburg Pike, it's like running a slalom course to get your car after local waste runs. They just leave the cans where they choose to. So, trash ran this past Saturday. The local waste ran this past Saturday, and I watched them on my cameras bring my neighbor's cans out and unload them in front of my driveway and left. I could not back out of my driveway. So I reached out to the chief to find out, if he was able to, send an officer, not to move my trash cans, to see if we could catch up with that truck or something. So we have worked with, Byron and I worked together when I was just sitting back there. I've had trouble with local waste in the past, so I asked Byron to reach out. I've got all the pictures and everything, but they cannot leave these cans in the middle of the roads when they empty them. I don't care how busy they are, everybody's got a job to do. You go up and pick up the can, drag it out there to empty it, and then they either leave it sit or they throw it. And so I'm letting you guys know that we're having, local waste come in. He just informed me it's gonna be 10 o'clock Tuesday. I'll be sitting in on it, but I just want you to be aware of it.
Sure.
In case you get any questions on it and you know what's going on.
Yeah, there's one big one that, Byron, that I continue to see when they come up, Frank Road, they like to go in the middle and then they run this way and drag across, so all traffic each way.
Right.
Is that even legal to utilize the median like that?
Yes and no. It's kind of considered a utility company of sorts, so they're given a little bit of leeway. If they get into an accident while they're doing that, they're gonna be at fault. If they get hit while they're doing that, they're gonna be at fault.
So should they not stick with, if they're going east or if they're going west, they pick up trash on the west, not try to run across to get trash that's on the other side?
Well, safety would tell you absolutely.
So
not.
what do we want in the township? Since you're having a meeting with them, are you able to state?
We're gonna bring it up. I don't know that we can force them to
Okay.
do it. I don't know, I do see them do that. It's Climb Road.
Yeah,
They just
Climb,
let
I
you-
meant,
They'll
yes.
park in the turn lane.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a big safety issue.
Bob had something too.
Just in case you weren't aware, there's an insurance meeting on Tuesday at 10 o'clock in this room.
Oh, that's right. We could probably.
We can go in there.
Yeah,
It's
so
just
I just-
probably the two gentlemen or one gentleman.
Yeah, I think just.
And you
one
and I?
Safety guy, yeah.
I think it'll be fine. We had 5 or 6 in there today and we were fine.
Okay.
Another thing I just wanted to say on that, they'll take Randsburg, for instance, and maybe some other people, experience this. And when they're going down Randsburg to pick up the trash, you're there for the duration. You stop at every house as they pick up the trash, and they should not be able to block the entire street. And they just refuse. They refuse to move. So before I was a trustee, at the end of Randsburg is a turnaround. So when he got to the point where I was able to go to the turnaround, I went around the turnaround, shut my truck off and took the keys out of the ignition and refused to move. Let him see what it felt like to have to sit there. So of course, it became confrontational and he threw it in reverse and backed up and went on down Geneva. But we can't continue to let the people of the township be inconvenienced like this. And it's not just because it happened to me. I'd spoken to you over a month ago about Jackson. And then they turned around and did this to me on Saturday. And so
It's
I don't use them. I use the other company because they actually make exceptions for people like me who are handicapped. And so I surely have made those arrangements for myself. I shouldn't have to fight local waste leaving their cans blocking my driveway.
To get out of your.
That's exactly right. So I just wanted to bring the other two up to date, so go ahead and finish, sir.
Nope,
Yes,
That's
sir.
all I had.
On the local waste, I know on like Lowell Drive, they will take up the whole street to make people stop both ways because they say it's safer for them. I don't know if they're allowed to drive down the middle and make, and again, if you're going, like say to the church at the end of my street, or if you're going to the next street up,
Right.
you have to stop at every stop they have, and they will not let no one go around them. I've had conversations in the past with them, and they say it's legal that they're allowed to block traffic.
I'll do some research before the meeting. And
Yeah, because, you know, we've had a lot of issues, we've had them in before, I think the guy's name was Scott or something that was with them before, and he ended up quitting.
Yeah, this guy's Bob. He said he was at the last meeting with us a few years
Okay.
ago, so it must be.
Yeah.
Great.
So we've had, some discussions with them in the past. So at this time, I'm gonna open the floor for any quick, questions you may have for the police chief.
Trustees, my name is Michael Scola with AEP Ohio. Chief Smith, this initially came to my attention, and I got our security team involved. The homeless encampment is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm glad you addressed it today, because I was just gonna confirm that we have in fact provided the documentation to the police so that they can take the action that they need to take. And I just wanted to come and confirm that. I'm glad you brought it up, so if anyone had any questions for me, or if you had anything you needed to discuss, or the questions that you had for AEP Ohio, I'd be glad to take them back.
Well, yeah, so it looks like it is empty. So I guess we just need to figure out when can you guys get a crew to remove the structure?
Were you working with Mike Herdman on
Yeah.
that? Did he advise that we would actually get in there and physically remove that?
Yeah,
Okay.
once it was empty, and it appears it is.
Yeah, he's really on the job, on the ball, so I'll follow with him and make sure that you feel that it is in fact vacated and it can be removed.
Yeah.
Okay,
And we're gonna give you assistance. If you need assistance as far as police, like you go in there, you hire somebody to come in there and take it down, we'll have an officer.
Right.
We have an officer there,
Yeah, we'll be
so you
there
have
with
no
you.
trouble.
yeah,
with
I know our
anyone.
security team wanted you to go in and remove people,
Yes.
but if you're talking about removing physical.
Well, the structure they
The
built
structure.
is still there.
Okay.
And if we don't remove the structure, then it's just going to attract.
I know it was initially partially on our property and partially off, is that correct?
Yeah, I'd say it's probably, if I remember right, probably 90% on your lot.
Okay.
And then probably 10% railroad.
Okay, well, we'll do what we can. I just hope the cooperation has been good so far.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Thank you for
Can
coming.
I see you after the meeting?
Yes, sir.
On another matter?
And, Brenda, I saw another hand. Okay, go ahead. Yes.
Can you fill me in on what happened at the carryout a few weeks back, the shooting,
The shots fired.
shots fired? What was it?
All we know is it was shots fired at a vehicle. And I don't think I didn't hear anything back about any suspects or anybody else that they found. As far as I know, no one was hit.
Did they come off of Little Avenue?
I don't know. I know it was right around the carryout, between the carryout and the Tracy Circle Apartments across the street.
Yeah, 'cause that's a little close to me.
It's very close to you.
Okay.
Okay, and then one last question.
Yes, I live over off Red Rock, and there's that apartment complex right there with shares the tree line with the Family Dollar. There's vehicles that have been parked there for months, and sometimes we'll get semi trucks that'll park there with illegal dumping.
Right.
Is there a way that we can keep an eye on? Because there's a lot of tires that sit between the property line. And I don't necessarily believe it's the owner that should have to come over and clean it up. This stuff should be prevented. I believe a lot of it may be coming from people temporarily stopping, throwing stuff off and leaving, or from the apartment complex themselves, because they'll just, when people get evicted, they just throw trash out there. And it's really bad for the neighborhood. And it's bringing in people that shouldn't be in the neighborhood and that don't live there.
It is, but that's in the city of Columbus, right there.
Come Tuesday night.
Okay. I thank everyone, closing the floor, and now we're, moving on to fire, let's see, discussion, we got that, fire
A
department.
little bit.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Your mom.
So I just got my run numbers, this week, so I will compile them and I'll have year-end run numbers for you next meeting. And then I just had two quick things. It's time to get together and decide on a fire levy.
what one we wanna run, when we wanna do it. I'm sure you've already had conversations with Steve today,
Yes.
but if we could set a time sooner than later.
Steve, you're gonna notify us and we will, is there any additional information that we
Anything you
need
need
to
from
do
us?
before we set that time so that we're here to,
There's just one critical signing that we need yet. but we're not
okay,
going
so you wanna
into
check
it.
on that so that, see if
You
we
want,
can,
you want me to,
I can do it, or we just,
you and I'll talk,
yeah, okay,
cause I have constraints on me about what I can do and what I can't do,
okay.
so you and I'll talk.
and then just let us know and we'll make an appointment. I mean, it's hard for me to make set up a schedule for next Tuesday, but yet you wouldn't have the pertinent information until Thursday, you know what I mean?
Okay, I think I
Soon
have,
as you get it, we would be
I
able to
think I have
do.
all the information I need.
We, as you and I spoke yesterday, we're out in front of this, we have
Yeah.
resolutions prepared.
Okay,
Probably what we'll have to do is, we get over one hurdle,
Mhm.
critical hurdle, cause we don't get over that hurdle, we go nowhere.
right,
And then we will get the trustees back in here for a special meeting, get all the documentation signed, cause as you know, we'll have to get it up to the BOE by February fifth.
yeah.
Have to get it up
I was
there
gonna say it's
before
first
that.
week of February,
Yeah.
Okay,
perfect.
So- is that all you got?
That's all I need.
Okay.
No, and then I have one last thing, the sign for, in front of station 192. I sent you guys both quotes, end of the year last year, we finally got the quote from the second place. So if we could, if I could just ask you to make a decision so we can move on this.
I thought the only decision is which style that we liked as far as.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking
Well,
about?
there's two companies, two quotes, each had a different style.
Yeah.
Okay,
So the pricing is pretty close. It was 2368.56 for the design like the one out front here with the
Yeah.
company that took 8 months to get us a quote. And then it's 2750 for day night, which is a township company over there on Harmon.
so personally for me, I like the wording the way it is on this sign. It's easier to read as you go
Sure.
by versus, whichever company is, I mean, obviously, the style is not gonna reflect if we use this guy. So my thing is, there's no sense in paying more, but me personally, I just like the other style, so I think we need to distinguish between which style, and then we go with the company that is the better bid. So I'd ask the board, which style are you in favor of?
Me personally?
Yes,
I'm good with the one that's out front.
okay,
I'm
sir?
good with the one out front.
Okay, so what I do is make a motion, be it resolved by the Board of Trustees, Franklin Township, Franklin County,
Needs to be a
Ohio.
resolution because there's money involved.
I thought we already had a resolution for it, we're making a motion.
Do we have a resolution to pay for it?
I didn't think we needed a resolution
Okay.
because it's just
The
company
insurance
business.
pays.
It's covering our butts, okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
no,
I'm
that's
sorry.
good.
I don't even know if I need a motion, I just needed you.
Well, I'm
No,
just
we
gonna
have to
make a
have a
motion, just so
Okay.
that it says, that we are going to go with the exact style
Custom
sign
Sign Center.
that's out front with the lowest bidder. If there's no further questions, I would ask for a second
I will second that.
and a roll call when you're ready, Steve.
Mr. Blevins,
Yes.
Mr. Leeser,
Yeah.
and Mr. Fleishman.
Yes. Okay,
That's all
so
I
at this point, I'm gonna quickly open the floor for any quick questions. Brenda?
The burning of the buildings behind your house, well, I guess it'd be,
On Wilson Road,
yeah,
the training fires.
yeah, well, like the first ones, cause they did 2 one day, and then they did another one another day. And our first thought was, the people from the bus station were camping out in there and caught it on fire. I just wanted to make sure because, you know, I had a few people ask me about it and I didn't know the answers.
Unfortunately, those properties were annexed to the city, so
Yeah.
that was all the city's doings, I had nothing to do with it, or we didn't have any part of it. and it's city business, so we had no say.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if you guys were part of the,
We did not get invited.
Okay.
oh, that's rude.
Yeah, it is what we weren't invited. Okay, so we're gonna move on. Road Department, Mr. Stevens.
Happy New Year, everybody. I got a couple things here. Got our stats, Clint was able to put our stats together here for December. Read them off real quick. Had 14 loads of brush signage repaired throughout the township. We've kinda got a situation going on where we're having street signs being stolen. So we're looking into some different molding material that will make it so they really can't do that. We have some other ideas in mind, but we're having street signs, Plainview and Plank, been stolen 2 or 3 different times. Cut down a tree in the cemetery after a windstorm, picked up 3 loads of dump trash behind Children's Services in coordination with the Franklin County Soil and Water District. Also picked up 3 illegally dumped mattresses on Briggs and Denvers, picked up 12 piles of dumped tires, and tires down at Children's Services, also working with Franklin County Soil and Water. Cleaned up glass from an auto accident on US 62 in Belmead, also cleaned up more glass from another auto accident that was left there on Hopkins and Shade Lane. We ended leaf collection second week of the month, picked up 25 loads of leaves during December, throughout the township, installed new LED lights in Robin's office per request. We maintenance and winterized the leaf vac, removed leaf boxes and winterized those from the trucks. Attached salt boxes and got things ready for the snow plows. Picked up 2 dead deer in December.
We seem to be missing a light switch or something in this office. Did it have anything?
Around the sign,
Yeah.
it was dead.
Is it totally dead?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cause there's no caps or
Oh,
anything.
you got a plate on it?
Yeah.
We're going to.
Yeah.
We will. Something else came to light yesterday, I think Mr. Mazur's already kind of given you guys a little bit of an insight on it. Regretfully, I get to read a resignation letter from one of our guys in our road department. I, Quentin Hawkins, am handing in my letter of resignation from Franklin Township Road Department effective 1/13/25. My last working day will be 1/24/25. I will be forever grateful for the opportunity to be employed here. Everyone has been great to work with, from my coworkers, the front office, and the trustees. I wish nothing but the best for everyone here. Again, thank you for the opportunity, Quentin Hawkins. It's a huge loss, but he has an opportunity. He's going to another township. He has an opportunity. The township's very close to his house. It's something where his grandfather actually worked for 30-some years and then retiring from there, and Quentin did some summer help work here, so it kind of made him an offer, and he decided to go ahead and take it. I would just need a motion to accept his resignation letter.
So hearing that, I make a motion that we accept the resignation of
Quentin Hawkins.
Quentin Holland.
Hawkins.
There you go.
I will, second the motion.
And I will do roll call when you're ready.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Leeser?
Yes.
And Mr. Fleishman?
Yes.
Old habits.
And with that being said, as soon as heard what was happening, wrong time of the year to lose one of our most key important people in the department. Got on the phone and reached back out to somebody that used to work for us, Hunter Braithwaite, and asked Hunter, who had been here for like 3.5 years, asked Hunter if he would be interested in possibly coming back. And he said that he would. Hunter is extremely knowledgeable. There's no retraining involved. He would be able to pick right up where we're at right now. It's one of these things where I think Hunter would be a huge asset to us. I know that he would. I would just like to have the board entertain the thought and pass a motion to where I can offer employment to Hunter, and for him passing all of his pre-test or pre-hire testing, with a start date of 1/27/2024.
At what level would you be bringing him in at? And Quentin was where?
D level. And Hunter was at D level when he left. He's actually taken a rather significant pay cut.
Okay, well, just for the sake of the budget, I had to
No, I
ask.
get it, and even with that being said, our budget's already set up with that, so it's not,
Yeah.
it's gonna impact the budget.
Hunter, I was sad to see Hunter go, cause he was always a hard worker where someone might be standing, he'll just scoot you aside and continue working, and it's,
He's a bull.
yeah, and, he's not idle hands, that's for sure. So I would entertain a motion to allow, Mr. Stevens to extend employment again to Hunter, what's his last name?
Breakaway.
Breakaway. And if there's any other questions, I'd ask for a second
I would second that.
and a roll call when you're ready.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Leeser?
Yes.
And Mr. Fleshman?
Yes.
Did you pick Robin about?
Yes, yeah, I already, everything kinda had to go quick here because we've got still some big snowstorms, and right now we've got one guy in training. The last thing we really need to do is have two people in training. So,
Can we make sure that we get him all of his uniforms, boots, everything before the 27th so he can hit the road running? Because Quentin,
he'll be ready to go.
Quentin's last day is what?
The 24th, so it would, and this is the start of the new pay period, so. it
Right.
actually looks like
Okay.
it.
So we just
And
change
the
seats.
decision, I can honestly say the decision that, it was a hard one for Quentin to do, because he was not looking to go anywhere, just this, it's gonna be a good move.
That's all you can ask.
Other than that, gentlemen, that's all
I have a question for you. I know we talked on Lowell Drive, my Lowell Drive, the traffic they get, the surface cracks. We never did get those
We
paved.
didn't get a chance to get the crack sealing done. The machine, we don't have to rent the machine, we just buy the material, we have the material, we just couldn't get the machine in the fall to get it done, it was at other townships. But I've already reached out to Mike, the guy who oversees all of that, if I get the machine early in the spring.
I would have loved to have known that earlier so that we had to rent one from somewhere, because now those cracks, since it's been cold and water's got in there, it's starting to break apart even more. It potentially could have helped preserve that road a little longer with the traffic that it gets. And, that's all I have.
I'm good.
I have nothing.
And quick questions, anyone from the audience? Hearing none, I close the floor. Thank you, sir.
You bet.
Doing a good job, Jim.
Thank you. It was a long day the other day.
You are, Jim.
Moving
Yes,
great.
on
definitely, thank you.
to, fiscal department.
Yes, sir, I just have some motions for you.
Okay.
The first is, motion to approve accounts payable. Be resolved by the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board makes a motion to approve accounts payable from December 9th, 2024 through December 31st, 2024, in the amount of $227,418.56. From ACH voucher numbers 2447-2024 through 2678-2024. And I have the exhibits attached.
If there's no further question, I'd ask for a second,
I'll second.
and roll call when you're ready.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Leeser?
Yes.
And Mr. Fleshman?
Yes.
And next I have a motion to approve payroll reports. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board approves, makes a motion to approve staff payroll for the pay period December 2nd, 2024 through December 14th, 2024, in the amount of $306,658.57. Also, the elected officials and fiscal officer wages earned during the month of December 2024 in the amount of $9,163.36. Direct deposits on December 20th, 2024, electronic vouchers 2503, 2024 through 2562, 2024. In the December 31st, electronic vouchers 2663, 2024 through 2666-2024. And again, exhibits attached.
If there's no further questions, I'd ask for a second.
I have questions.
Yes, sir.
So I just wanna bring it to the board's attention. I added, so I went ahead, that figure of, 306,658.57 for 2-week period for payroll. And then you had, 9,163.36 for the elected officials. So then I went in and added up the next pay period that you're getting ready to read next.
Yes,
And I just wanted to let the board know that for the month of December, we paid out $500,000 in payroll and payouts. So, just wanna, to me, that's shocking, may not be to you, but I just wanted to, doesn't go unnoticed to me.
And this is why a lot of I didn't mean to cut you off, I apologize, I'll wait till you finish.
No, go ahead and tell me.
Paul, this is why a lot of times when we hear about the payouts and the things, usually a lot of people are trying to cash in their vacation time or whatever they're able to cash. December is usually generally one of the highest that we have. I'm not necessarily for it, I don't like the cash outs, I'd rather see it be used, but unless I'm wrong, that's what I've always been associated, and we don't have a fiscal officer here to ask that question to, but.
you're right. You're right.
So, any other questions? Hearing none, I'd ask for I've already got a second, I would ask for roll call.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Leeser?
Yes.
And Mr. Fleishman?
Yes.
The next I have, motion to approve accounts payable, this is 2025. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board makes a motion to approve accounts payable from January 2nd, 2025 through January 8th, 2025 in the amount of $131,072.47. From ACH vouchers 63, 2025 through 71, 2025.
If there's no further questions, I would ask for a second,
I will second.
and a roll call when you're ready, sir.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Leeser?
Yes.
And Mr. Fleishman?
Yes.
And the last I have, payroll reports, for January 2025. Be resolved by the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio. The board makes a motion to approve staff payroll for the pay period December 15th, 2024 through December 28th, 2024 in the amount of $186,452.60. Direct deposit on January 3rd, 2025, the electronic vouchers 001-2025 through 0061-2025. And again, exhibits are attached.
If there's no further question, I'd ask for a second,
I will second.
and a roll call when you're ready.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Leeser?
Yes.
And Mr. Fleishman?
Yes.
All right, gentlemen, I have some resolutions for you. The first is a resolution approving Morpsey membership dues for 2025. Be it resolved, the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio approves and authorizes the renewal of the 2025 membership with the Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission, Morpsey. The annual dues shall not exceed $6,713.84. Be it further resolved that all formal actions of this board concerning and related to this resolution are passed in an open meeting of the board, and all deliberations of the board and any of its committees that result in such formal action were a meeting open to the public and in compliance with section 121.22 of the ORC. This resolution shall be declared an emergency and be in full force and effective immediately upon its adoption.
Any question? Hearing none, I'd ask for a second.
I will second that.
And a roll call when you're ready, sir.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Leeser?
Yes.
And Mr. Fleishman?
Yes.
The The next resolution I have is 2025-002. It's a resolution approving a renewal contract with Hollywood Lawn and Landscape for mowing and weed control for 2025. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that they approve and authorize the appropriation of funds to renew a contract with Hollywood Lawn and Landscape for mowing and weed control along the West Broad corridor in the Western Mall area during 2025 in an amount not to exceed $11,500. All formal actions of this board concerning and related to this resolution were passed in an open meeting of the board, and all deliberations of the board and any of its committees that resulted in such formal actions were in compliance with section 121.22 of the ORC. This resolution shall be declared an emergency and be in full force and effective immediately upon its adoption.
If there's no further questions on the matter, I'd ask for a second.
I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
Does this money come out of Jim's budget, or does this come out of,
General
the
fund.
general fund?
General fund.
Okay, that's all I wanted to
Of
know.
course. Any other questions? Hearing none, I'd ask for a roll call, please.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Whoop, did you second?
I have a second.
Okay, if you, I need a second.
I'll second that.
Here and I, second, if I can have roll call, please.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Reader?
Yes,
And Mr. Fleshman?
Yes, that was a very good catch.
we have each other's back. All three of us have each other's back.
Let me finish the resolutions for you. I have a resolution approving resolution approving the authorized obligations by the Township Administrator for the period of December 11, 2024 through December 31st, 2024. The Board of Trustees of Resolution 2021-130 authorized the Township Administrator to approve obligations of $10,000 or less on behalf of the Township in accordance with Section 507.11 of the ORC. Pursuant to the provisions of the Section 507.11A of the ORC, the obligations incurred by the Administrator must subsequently be approved by the adoption of a formal resolution of the Board of Township Trustees. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of Township Trustees of Franklin County, the obligations authorized incurred by the Township Administrators presented in Exhibit A are hereby attached or are approved. All formal actions of this board concerning relating the adoption of this resolution were passed in an open meeting of this board. And in all deliberations of this board and any of its committees that result in such formal action were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the ORC. This resolution shall be declared an emergency and be in full force, effective upon its adoption.
If there's no further questions, I'd ask for a second.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
The Gauls one, looks like PO 324, 2024.
Yes.
It says additional PO for Warner due to rising costs. I thought he had gotten all of his uniforms when he started this year. Why is there an additional cost in December?
Is the chief here?
I'm right here.
Can you address that, Chief?
Sure. It takes about 6 months to get all their stuff. And a lot of the cost has went up after we hired him. I don't think he has everything in even yet. But
Okay.
we're at the mercy of Gauls, so.
Okay,
Looking for a second.
I'll second.
Roll call when you're ready.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Leeser?
Yes.
And Mr. Fleshman?
Yes.
Then I have resolution 2025-004, it's a resolution approving the obligations authorized by the administration from the period of January 2nd, 2025 through January 7th, 2025. The Board of Trustees in Resolution 2021-130 authorized the Township Administrator to incur obligations of $10,000 or less on behalf of the Township in accordance with Section 507.11 of the ORC. Pursuant to provisions of Section 507.11A of the ORC, the obligations incurred by the Township Administrator must subsequently be approved by the adoption of a formal resolution of the Board of Trustees. Therefore, it be resolved by the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio. The obligations incurred by the Township Administrator as presented in Exhibit A attached are approved. All formal actions of this board concerning and related to the adoption of this resolution were passed in an open meeting of this board. And that all deliberations of this board and any of its committees that resulted in such formal action were in meetings open to the public in compliance with Section 121.22 of the ORC. This resolution shall be declared an emergency and be in full force, effective immediately upon its adoption.
If there's no further questions, I'd ask for a second.
I will second that.
And a roll call when you're ready.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Leeser?
Yes.
And Mr. Fleshman?
Yes, and where are we at on, are we going out of order on the agenda? Because which number was this?
This is 4.
Or,
That is our last resolution.
okay. I thought we were at the administrator.
I did jump around.
I was gonna say,
I
cause
wanted to get all the resolutions.
okay,
out
that's
of the way.
fine.
Yeah,
I
I did
just-
jump around. Keep it on your toes.
I'm just seeing if I
I'm used to
noticed.
following you.
Okay, sir, when you're
The
ready.
next item I have is I'll need a motion to approve, past meeting minutes. As you're aware, back in September of 2023, we went to an audio video. And, I was just going through the second audit that the township is experiencing right now. It was determined that even though these are audio and video minutes, they still need approved by the trustees. I talked with, our legal counsel, she said you're able to do these in lump form. So, the first set of meetings I need approved, and Mr. Blevins can be excused because he was not a trustee at that time. These are audio and video meeting minutes from September 26th, 2023 through December 14th of 2023.
I would ask for a second if there's no questions.
I would make a second on that.
And a roll call when you're ready, sir.
Yes, Mr. Fleshman
Yes.
and Mr. Leeser.
Yes.
Does,
Mr. Blevins is,
does he wanna accuse himself, or does he need to say?
it probably, you could, Michael, if you just say that you weren't
I'll recuse myself, there you go.
thank you.
That's just for the record.
Then the next set of meetings, minute meetings I have will include Mr. Fleshman, Mr. Blevins, and Mr. Leeser. These are audio and video meetings from January 11th, 2024 through November 15th, 2024. And I will say at the next meeting, when we catch up, we'll have meeting minutes from, I think, the one meeting in December as well.
Okay.
23rd.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, if you'd like, if you review those, we can include those as well.
Okay.
Would you like to include those as well?
I would at this time.
Okay.
Let me open the discussion. Do you guys, okay?
I'm good.
Okay,
I'm
so
good
we're
with
good
it.
to lump
The
it.
audio, the videos.
Cause the audio,
Yeah.
right, we didn't change it, it didn't get changed, so I'm good
What
with
was the
that.
date of it?
23rd.
The 23rd of December?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, day before.
2 days before.
Yeah.
So again, those audio and video meeting minutes for approval will begin January 11, 2024, and extend through the meeting in December 23rd, 2024.
And
So I
if there,
just need a motion for
sure,
approval.
if there are no further questions on said, motion, I'd ask for a second.
I will second that.
And a roll call when you're ready.
Mr. Blevins,
Yes.
Mr. Leeser,
Yes.
and Mr. Fleshman.
Yes.
The next is just a topic for discussion. I just received a new proposal from Brochus, Johnson and Griggs, the township's legal firm, for renewal of our contract with them for 2025. The rates have not changed. Their hourly rates have not changed. The clerk time, nothing has changed. And I think it's actually been the same rate for the past 3 years. And if the trustees would like, I'll be more than happy to make sure they get a copy of this for their review. And possibly it's something we can take up at the next meeting. If you're comfortable with a resolution to continue services with them.
So we're gonna discuss, I personally, same likeness and care, nothing's changed. I feel comfortable with moving forward, but it's up to you guys if you would like me to move forward on this.
I'm good with it. There's no changes, no money.
I would like to see, quote from other, we had a beautiful meeting today, and things with them. I understand it's the familiarity with it, and Mr. Mazur likes working with them and everything, but, sometimes I feel like, change is good, so I would like to see other quotes, but obviously, majority rules,
Well,
so
that's not
when you're
necessarily-
going to bring it to the or when you bring it to a vote, if we vote on it today, the way it reads, I would be a no vote.
Okay, so you are part of this as much as
No, I'm
any
just
of
letting
us.
you know why.
But I get that. So if you would like to reach out and do what you said,
I don't know I don't really necessarily think that that's my job. I think that'd be Mr. Mazur's job to
Okay.
reach out to other potential attorneys. And I don't know, because I just basically don't know how it works. Now, if you feel that's my job, then I'll research it and do it.
So what I was getting at, sir, was that, it's obvious two of us would probably go ahead and vote, but I don't wanna put that before vote. If you would like to have the opportunity to seek something else out, because we could wait till next meeting to do this, there's no reason it has to be done today.
Well, then I say go ahead and put it to a vote. You just said, I'm not gonna go do the work and do the work for.
But what
nothing.
information you bring back might be beneficial to where we would. I'm not saying that I'm definite because of them. I am saying, due to respect for your position here,
All right.
there's no reason for me to run this through.
Does this need to be done today, Steve?
No,
Then
sir.
let's push it to the next meeting.
I would be happy
Put
to
it
do
on the
that.
next meeting's agenda.
And what I spoke of earlier is, I wanna get this in the trustees' hands, their proposal, for your review, so
Sure.
at least you know exactly.
Okay,
But yeah, there's no hurry.
okay,
Yeah, I don't know how many times you guys call and ask Steve for a question.
right.
But I have called and asked Steve for questions, and I'm waiting, and today, I understand there are holidays involved, but today I just got an answer in there that I'd been asking for 2 weeks
Okay,
from the lawyer.
okay,
It's that simple.
okay.
I myself, 2 weeks don't seem that bad at holidays.
Okay.
Well, I'm more than happy to push this off, so at this point, we are gonna hold off on that, and if you'll put that, we'll table this until the, next, business meeting, and we'll go from there, and if you wanna email that over to us, that would be great for us to take a look at. Do you have anything else for us, sir?
Couple more things, we need approval of the meeting calendar for 2025.
Which is subject to change at holiday time,
Yes.
which is not a problem. I put mine out right here. Like in October, if we wanted to suspend the 2nd and just have the 16th and the 30th, I mean, we'll leave it as such, but within time of that, we could do that. Or we could have all three, depending upon what our load is like for that month.
Especially since there's only one in November.
If we,
Right.
yeah, we could,
Well-
I mean, we can always discuss that as we get into September. Or have all of it. It looks, to me, as one person, I'm fine with that. May, we have, 3.
We can
So-
always change that.
Right, I mean, it just depends on what our schedule
But
is.
the one thing I do have, I wanna point out here is, December 24th is not a federal holiday.
Oh, yes, you mean Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
Right,
It is not a federal
Correct.
holiday, and we have it highlighted on here as a federal holiday.
and it says office closed too.
Yeah.
That's not right.
Maybe it will.
So we'll need to change that.
Mm-hmm. You won't have your meeting the next day, then, will you?
No.
It was this past year.
May. What is the 26th, Easter?
On what?
On May?
No, Memorial Day.
Okay. And, the 19th of June?
Yeah.
That's that new one.
Yep.
And then February 17th is, what is 17th? Huh?
February 17th is President's Day.
Okay. You're pretty good at this. You wanna go on Jeopardy?
No.
And then Martin Luther King, I guess, is January 20th?
Yes.
And then what is, January 1st? Obviously, first of the year.
I thought you were, I knew.
I was waiting for you to say something.
No, I knew you was being funny. Just like,
Okay.
just like Thanksgiving is Thursday?
This year, it was Thursday last year too. Okay, so with that being said, approving it, do we wanna approve it based upon, any changes?
Changes on that, what'd you say, 24th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would second a motion to accept it.
Are you good, sir?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a quick question. I think I know the answer to it. Approving this calendar has nothing to do when we hold the meetings, correct?
Correct.
We're just approving the calendar.
This is a tentative, a tentative of when our meetings are gonna be, and if something
dates.
changes for our meeting, then we change the date.
The dates that
Correct.
we're having the meetings. That's what we're voting on today, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I'm good. I'm ready to go.
Okay, so with no
we
further
have a second?
questions, with no further questions, with the changes that was spoken here today, I would ask for a second of the calendar for 2025.
I would second that with the changes.
Okay. And, roll call when you have a moment.
Mr. Blevins,
Yes.
Mr. Leeser,
Yes.
and Mr. Fleshman.
Yes.
Then the next item for discussion is, regarding the second audit that has started in, I guess they started actually in November. It's Charles E. Harrison Associates. We have already received 2 invoices for their work in November and December. Robin and I were talking about this yesterday. The first invoice was for $11,000, and I think the second invoice was $6,000. That was for the years 2021. They are about, my understanding, halfway through that portion of the audit.
That's pretty quick.
They have just sent me a proposal for the year 22 audit, which is approximately $46,000. I have not received an invoice on that, of course, because they haven't started the work. So what I need to make the board aware of is we have these 2 bills for $17,000. I will probably come back to the board the next meeting with a resolution for approval of payment. I'll have the documentation for the board ahead of time that you can see. And I will also send you, I was hesitant to send you the $46,000 because I needed to understand, what
What
is
does
this?
that encompass?
What is this? Cause it's just on two pieces of paper that have draft everywhere. And, so my understanding is after talking to the auditor, it's $46,000 for the 22 audit. And somehow, and Robin's gonna help me with this, I need to go on to the auditor state site and approve this payment. But we're not doing that until we get the 2021 stuff taken care of.
So when I said that was pretty quick, considering how long it took before, unless they're auditing different stuff, I mean, the auditors have been here for 5 years.
We still don't have the final
Are we
audit.
gonna
And for
get
them
that?
to do 1 year that quick, I thought that was quick.
Right.
But I don't know what is it the same type or do they redo? I don't know, but that was,
And I hope, if I have that here, if not, I can go back in my office and get it. There are single audits involved where they're just,
samples.
they're,
They do what they call sampling where
well,
they go
they should
through.
be doing that, and I think they are. But some years are single audits and some, I would have to get the paperwork, and you'll see it when I send it to you. But, I'm guessing they probably have a lot of help from the audit that lasted 4 years for what items specifically look for.
Okay, anything else from us?
One more.
Okay,
Just needed to update the board on Lieutenant Ratliff's status. He is continuing on light duty and hoping to have him back full duty February 3rd,
okay.
2025. And yes, I do have documentation from his surgeon that extends his light duty.
We have the Medco form filled out and all that.
I know that we need, based on the policy, and when I see David today and have him fill out the light duty forms, I will make a request for him to follow up with his physician to get me the Medco 14 or something similar.
And just so I understand correctly, what is our policy, outlined for short-term disability? Is it 90 days, or, I'm sorry, light duty 90 days?
In the policy, yeah, it talks about 90 days, and, it gives the township a lot of options where they can continue light duty, they can stop the light duty, or cease offering the light duty for an employee after a certain amount of time. But it does give the township a lot of leverage on how they want to administer the
And how
policy.
long has he been on light duty?
Since November. I think he had surgery in August, and I think he's been on light duty since November. Yeah.
And I
He had
believe,
surgery on August 12th, and at that time, he would be out of work until November 11th, 2024.
and I believe the board he has to fill out a request form for additional light duty. And it has to come before the board before he automatically gets it, correct?
In the light duty?
Yes.
I don't know if it has to come to the board. In my opinion, I would rather have it come to the board. I know that's double talk, but yes, it really does need to come to the board to be reviewed and approved.
That's what I would like to see.
Anything else, sir?
No, sir, that's it.
Okay,
I have a question for Steve.
okay, sir.
So, I mean, are we wrapping, I'm not positive
Yeah, no, no.
where you're at.
Oh, I'm down
I
to start.
finished that's the
So-
last I have.
So you got a
I
question?
wanna know, well, I hope it's for the whole board would wanna know the answer to this. Where are we at with, Mr. Wilczek's replacement? Like, we had a meeting,
Yeah.
Mr. Wilczek's leaving, we were going to be putting together a position. I'm assuming that fell on your desk, and I thought we may hear something about that today, since we got 20 days to go before he leaves.
In actuality, I haven't had a chance to talk with Jeff, because I know he talked about working on a job description for us that I could put on at least the Ohio Township Association website. To be honest with you, I have talked to a young man, he's a past fiscal officer. he is very interested in assuming the role of Jeff,
Okay.
Mr. Dunn. The nice thing about Nick is, he's willing, he has knowledge and he's willing to learn more. He has a good relationship with Mr. Wilczek, and Mr. Wilczek will be there as a continued mentor. So I'm just waiting. I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to present it to the board at the right time. This seems now like the right time. But we could have a past fiscal officer interested in the position.
Are they a CPA?
Pardon me?
Are they a CPA?
Nick's not, he's just a past fiscal officer.
Okay. Okay, moving on, Mr. Leeser.
I just have one thing I wanted to, so I can't remember the gentleman's name, the officer. So we have an officer out there without all of his gear or out of all of his uniforms?
Well,
What
no,
is he missing?
I don't know for sure what he's missing. I think he may have it by now. He was waiting on his outer vest carrier. But it takes months to go through golf, which is why we're transitioning over to par.
Okay, could you update the board on anything else that he may be missing? And, cause I don't like hearing that we have officers out there with all their equipment.
Well, he has equipment to do his job. He would be using loaner equipment. I mean, he's still capable of performing his duties.
Mr. Blevins?
Yeah, I told you I wanted to speak on the parade and things like that, so I've written this down. So it's basically, I wanted to say thank you to many people. Some of the people that I wanted to put a thank you out there to were the FOP and Benchmark Biodiesel for their contribution. They each donated money to the parade and the trees and things like that, and I wanted to let them know that we definitely approved it. We rolled over some money that'll go towards next year, which is a great thing. I also want to thank the departments. I want to thank the fire department, the police department, the road department, and the clerical department. Too many people to name individually. I'd like to thank Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus, the Grinch, Elf on the Shelf, Helping Hands Food Pantry for the donation of the candy, Brown's Tires, Lonnie Brown donated the Christmas tree. I wanted to thank the Boy Scouts for their help and participation, and I wanted to thank Mary Niemeyer for participating. And I'm glad you made my heart warm when you stood up and said how much of a good time you had, and I appreciate it. I also want to thank my fellow trustees. They were very supportive in all this and everything. I want everybody to know that we passed out over 700 bags of candy, and we've had good response, and I would be happy to take this over again next year.
That would be great. I mean, it seems
I'd make a motion that you start on it now.
Get in there and
How
help
many
it.
days? 300 and...
Well, you never know. You just never know what you're going to run into, but I did want to, and I'm sure I forgot somebody, and if I did, I apologize. But I want the ones that weren't able to make it, and to know Jim was there, Bob was there, Byron was there. The outpour for the parade made all of the Saturdays where people didn't really necessarily show up for the pictures and things like that, and it made all the hard work worth it when we saw adults and children standing in their yards waiting to see Santa Claus and the Grinch and everything and receive the candy. And so, yes, ma'am.
And the good Lord provided a good day.
He did, he absolutely did. So that's all I have, sir. I know you guys
Okay,
wanna.
no worries. Is there any questions that we'll take only a few quick questions, only in regards to what was in the meeting today. Does anyone have a question? I know sir, do you have something you would like to ask? Anything you heard in the meeting?
No.
Okay,
You put
no
him on the
worries.
Okay.
We are adjourned, time is approximately 11:44. 144.
144. Yes.
Don't leave.
Okay.